Hi everybody, Jasmine here from Level Up Consulting with this week's edition of What I Learnt in Business Last Week. So it was a huge week for me personally and for the Level Up team. We just had a lot of things not go to plan, and so we had to pivot and shift left, right and centre. And of course, in situations like that, you do learn a lot of lessons. So it was a big learning week for me. The very first thing I learnt in business last week was that when you take the time to build relationships with stakeholders, you don't just build one way empathy, but two. So, wearing my change manager hat, I always thought that spending time with people, getting to know them, getting to know their situation really helped me deliver a really great solution for them. But I had a circumstance this week where it came back the other way. So we were 2 days out from a big go live with one of my projects, which unfortunately had to pause. It was delayed by 1 week due to a vendor decision. So nothing that we had done, but the vendor just wasn't able to deliver on the go live date. And every single internal stakeholder that I spoke to for the project I'm working on, the very, very, very first thing they asked was, how are you? How are you feeling? I know you've done so much planning. How are you? And it really made me realize that, we had built a relationship and it went both ways. And because of that, they were actually more accepting of the delay and of the change. They were just more concerned that me and the baby were doing okay. So it was a really eye-opening, wonderful thing to have come out of a bad situation. The second big thing I learned in business last week is that a lack of clarity is debilitating, even at the most senior levels of management. If you are not clear on what everybody is striving for, what everybody's roles and responsibilities are, it never goes well, essentially. You're left spinning wheels, making assumptions, he said, she said. It's never a healthy situation. So if you do find yourself in a situation where there is a lack of clarity, the best thing you can do is say, time out. Let's figure this out so we know exactly who is doing what, who's responsible for what, and then we can go forth and conquer. So that was my second lesson. And the last thing that I learned this week, I always knew it, but it did become very apparent last week, is that having loyal and dedicated employees who are bought into your vision, as a small business owner, they're unicorns. They are wonderful human beings. And if you do find people like that and you're fortunate to work with people like that, nurture them, look after them, make sure they're feeling like they're part of the journey and they're feeling rewarded. So they were my big 3 lessons from this week. Hopefully it's another good week, not as challenging as last week, and I've got plenty more next week. Have a great week ahead.